Hello everyone, welcome to today's trivia with Quiz & Co.
Introduce you the members of Quiz & Co.
For today, Quiz & Co firm has been appointed by Angkasa Development Sdn Bhd to handle the sale transaction for lot 334. So now, we need to help the purchaser who wants to buy the lot from our clients and give them the advice on whatever needed for them to do so. The purchaser is Ali Hadi, and what he wants to know is the conveyancing procedure involved until the title is registered under his name and the procedure for full disbursement of the loan by Maju Terus Bank. So, our job is we have to explain accordingly to Ali Hadi pertaining to the advice that he needed us to give, but as usual, in order to see if he clearly understands what we have explained to him, we have made a special trivia for him to test his knowledge on such matter. We thought that our subscribers on YouTube who are interested in buying property might also need this information as well. So, we decided to upload this trivia on our YouTube channel to share this knowledge with everyone. Let's see whether Ali Hadi will succeed in completing this trivia or fail this trivia. The first session of this quiz would cover on procedure of sale purchase agreement. In order to make a person lawfully purchase a housing property, there is a must for them to go through and sign the sale and purchase agreement. Hence, in order to safeguard the purchaser, there are different schedules for sale and purchase agreement that are provided under Housing Development Regulation 1989. So, the question here is, which schedule is applicable for the unit that Ali Hadi is interested in? The answer is A. Schedule G. The unit of property that Ali Hadi is interested in is a unit of double-story semi-detached house, which indicates that it is landed on individual properties. Thus, the most suitable schedule to use is Schedule G. This is for the sale and purchase of landed properties which delivered in a sale then built concept. The concept units under this category are sold under individual titles, which will be used to the home buyer. When Ali Hadi has completed the purchase, the plot of land and building will be under his name.
Now, let us move on to the stamping for sale and purchase agreement. How much is the total of stamp duty needs to be paid for the sale and purchase agreement and its copies? The answer is B. 40 ringgit Malaysia. Since sale and purchase agreement falls under the category of fixed duties, it is only required to be stamped nominal stamp duty of 10 ringgit Malaysia on each copy. So, 10 ringgit Malaysia will have to be multiplied by 4 and you will get the answer, which is 40 ringgit Malaysia.
Moving on to the next session, we will cover on the procedure of applying loan.
The first step is the preparation for security document. So we are going to the question, and the question is, there are two types of banks, conventional and Islamic. Which of the followings are the relevant documents needed to be prepared for security documents for both bankings? The answer is all of the above. For a purchase of property from a developer with title, the solicitor shall prepare several security documents. There are also two types of banks which are mentioned, conventional and Islamic. These two banks have different set of documents, which for conventional bank we need loan agreement and Form 19A plus annexure, while for Islamic bank we need a commodity murabaha facility agreement and Form 16A plus annexure. Other than that, we also have to prepare Form 19B and 90G if the property is subjected to emburances, and the consent form if the property is subject to RII. Other than that, the solicitor have to conduct land search on the title and the bankruptcy search. Next, the question is, for the preparation of security documents, how many copies needed for each of the relevant documents? The answer is C. 4 copies. Ali solicitor have to prepare 4 copies of loan agreement, 4 copies of Form 19A plus annexure, and for Islamic bank, 4 copies of community murabaha facility agreement. And the solicitor have also to stamp 4 copies, but only register 2 copies at land office. The land office will then return 1 copy.
The second step is Maju Terus Bank solicitor, who is also Ali Hadi Financial Solicitor, shall request letters of undertaking. Letter of undertaking is a letter to confirm and undertake to do something in the future by relevant parties. The question here is, which parties involved under this step? The answer is D, all of the above. As for Angkasa Development Sdn Bhd, he is the developer of the unit of property that Ali Hadi wanted to buy. Thus, he is required to prepare a letter of undertaking. That letter shall consist of, firstly, confirmations of the differential sum that has been fully paid by Ali Hadi. Secondly, acknowledgement that the title is charged to Singa Malaya Bank and confirmation that the redemption sum, which is 250,000, is paid to Singa Malaya Bank, who is the breaching financial, shall be deemed to be progress payment toward the purchase price under the SPA. At the same time, us as the Angkasa Development Solicitor will write a letter that shall contain an undertaking that upon execution and stamping of the Form 14A, the duly stamped Form 14A, the original title together with the registration fees and penalty to be forwarded to Maju Terus Bank Solicitor. Lastly, Maju Terus Bank Solicitor will also request a redemption statement charm letter of undertaking from the Singa Malaya Bank, who is the breaching financial in this issue. The contents of the letter are, firstly, the original title deed. The duplicate registered charge as the original one is with the Land Office, thus Singa Malaya Bank only retain the copy. And to forward the duly executed discharge of charge and to refund the redemption sum in the event that the discharge of charge cannot be registered. Moving on to the next question. As mentioned above in the explanation, what is the meaning of differential sum? The answer is, differential sum means the residual amount of the balance purchase price that is not covered by the loan sum. Here in this issue, the purchase price of the unit is 730,000 and the loan applied is 650,000, and the deposit that Ali paid is 10% of the purchase price, which is 73,000. Therefore, the differential sum here is 7,300, which shall be paid by Ali Hadi itself. In addition, when the redemption sum is paid to Singa Malaya Bank, then the property will be discharged, whereby the Singa Malaya Bank will execute Form 16N, which will be registered together with Form 14A and Form 16A.
The next step is execution of the security documents. But before we go any further, let's look into the next question. To whom the letter for execution of security documents will be sent? The answer is A, Ali Hadi, since he is the purchaser of this property. According to the fifth schedule, once Ali Hadi has executed the security documents that have been mentioned in the previous step, he has to pay Maju Terus Bank solicitor's bill. Then, Ali Hadi's financial solicitor need to witness or attest Ali's signature and forward the facility agreement and Form 16A together with an annexure to Singa Malaya Bank to be executed. Execution on the part of Singa Malaya Bank will be made by its authorized officer who has been appointed as the Singa Malaya Bank's attorney. Once Singa Malaya Bank has returned the documents and witnessed or attest the signature, the solicitor needs to ensure that the bank provides the relevant details of its authorized signatory who signed the documents. It is also important to make a request to the bank if the letter of offer doesn't state that the loan do include lawyer fee.
After executing the document, now let us continue with stamping. According to item 27 of First Schedule Stamp Act, how much need to be paid for every 1,000 of loan facility? The answer is C, RM5 ringgit. Before we proceed, do you guys know that according to Section 4 Clause 3 of Stamp Act 1949, there is only one instrument that needs to be stamped with duty ad valorem. Principal document, which is normally the loan agreement, is to be paid with stamp duty ad valorem calculated based on the principal amount of loan. Any other documents such as subsidiary, instruments and copies are to be stamped with nominal stamp duty of 10 ringgit on each copy. With the new information that I have shared just now, how much of the total of stamp duty needs to be paid by Ali Hadi for the loan agreement? The answer is A. 3,320 ringgit Malaysia. The formula to count the stamp duty for loan agreement as provided in item 27 is 5 ringgit for every 1,000 ringgit of loan facility. So, the first step is to know the amount of loan provided, which in this situation, the amount of loan provided to Ali Hadi is 650,000 ringgit Malaysia. So, the amount of loan multiplied by 0.5% is equal to 3,250 ringgit. And the other 3 copies will have to be multiplied by 10 ringgit. Meanwhile, the other documents, which are Form 16A and annexure, will have to be stamped by nominal stamp duty of 10 ringgit for each copy. So, the equation would be 10 ringgit multiplied by 4, and all these amounts will then have to be added, and you will get the answer. Moving on to the next question, how much of total of stamp duty needs to be paid by Ali Hadi for the transfer of property? The answer is B. 15,900 ringgit Malaysia. The rate of chargeable stamp duty will depend on the value of the property as prescribed by Item 32 Clause A of the First Schedule Stamp Act 1949, as can be seen on your screen right now. Following this formula and also considering the value of the property in this case, which is 730,000 ringgit Malaysia, you will get the amount of 15,900 ringgit Malaysia.
The next step is lodgement of Form 19B. The question is, why do Maju Terus Bank solicitor is required to lodge private caveat over the property? The answer is C. As a security for the redemption sum to be released. As there is a charge created by Angkasa Development in favour of Singa Malaya Bank, thus Maju Terus Bank solicitor is required to lodge a private caveat on the property as a security for the redemption sum released by Maju Terus Bank to the breaching financier, which is Singa Malaya Bank. So the next step is advice letter for release of redemption sum to the bank, which is Maju Terus Bank. The question is, what are the contents that shall be included together in the advice letter other than advising the bank to release the redemption sum in accordance with the schedule of payment? The answer here is, the advice letter shall contain the confirmations of, firstly, security documents that have been executed and stamped. Secondly, the private caveat, which is the Form 19B, has been lodged and enclosed for presentation statements. And lastly, the differential sum that has been paid by Ali Hadi, which the Angkasa Development Sdn Bhd should give the confirmation on that. After receiving all the requested documents and undertaking from the parties, Purchase Financial Solicitor, namely Maju Terus Bank Solicitor, will advise the bank to release the redemption sum to the chargee, which is Singa Malaya Bank. While advising the bank to release the redemption sum, Maju Terus Bank Solicitor will also forward all the related documents such as, firstly, the original of loan agreements and facility agreements. Next, letter of undertaking from the developer, which is Angkasa Development Sdn Bhd and its solicitor. Third, the land search property. Fourthly, the bankruptcy search of Ali Hadi and Angkasa Development Sdn Bhd. And lastly, the redemption statement charm undertaking from the Singa Malaya Bank to Maju Terus Bank.
The next step is the registration at the land office. So, the question is, there are several documents that the purchaser financial solicitor needed to have prior to the presentation. Which of these followings are the right documents? The answer is 2 and 3. Original title and Form 14A. For the presentation of Form 16A for the registration at the land office, Ali solicitor need to get the original IDT, duly executed and stamped Form 14A together with its registration fees in possession. At the land office, these documents have to be brought together with Form 16N, Form 19G, and the CTC of the current year paid rent receipts and Ali's IC. In addition, the forms needed to be in order. First, it's Form 19N, then 19G, then 14A, and then lastly 19A. After all these are submitted and the land research is conducted, only then the land office will issue the presentation statement.
Next step is advice letter to the bank. Advice letter need to be given to Ali's bank, which is Maju Terus Bank, to pay the remaining loan. When the charge is registered and Ali had been registered for the property, Maju Terus Bank will be advised to release the loan sum. Only when everything that being submitted is checked, Maju Terus Bank will release the loan sum. Then, forward the requested documents to the Maju Terus Bank. The question is, which one of the following documents that need to be forwarded to Maju Terus Bank in this stage? The answer is D. Land search. Together with land search, these are the following documents that need to be forwarded to the Maju Terus Bank. First, original sale purchase agreement between Angkasa Development Sdn Bhd and Ali Hadi. Second, original loan agreement and facility agreement. Third, letter of undertaking from Angkasa Development Sdn Bhd and from their solicitor. And lastly is the bankruptcy search. However, if all of these documents had been forwarded during the advice for release of redemption sum, it does not need to be forwarded again in this stage.
Finally, we have come to the last step, which is the collection of title. But the question is, which documents have to be collected by Ali Hadi or his solicitor at the land office after Form 16A has been registered? The answer is A. Original title and the duplicate of Form 16A. After Form 16A has been registered, Ali Hadi or his solicitor will have to collect the original title as well as the duplicate of Form 16A at the land office. And last but not least, don't forget to forward the duly stamped loan agreement and Form 16A to Ali Hadi. So, these are the conveyancing procedures that he will have to go through to purchase Lot 334. Before we end today's video, let's recap the procedure involved. There are two procedures involved. Firstly, the sale and purchase agreement, and secondly, the procedure to purchase Lot 334 until the title is registered to Ali Hadi's name, and also for full disbursement of the loan by Maju Terus Bank. For the first procedure, the sale and purchase agreement have to be registered in accordance with Schedule G, and it has to be stamped with nominal stamp duty. As for the second procedure, the first step is to prepare for security documents needed according to the type of bank applied, which in this case is conventional bank. Next, letter of undertaking will have to be requested by Maju Terus Bank solicitor. After that, the security documents that have been prepared will be executed. When the previous step is done, the next step is to do the stamping for related documents, namely for the loan agreement, Form 16A and annexure, as well as stamping for Form 14A. And then, as a security for redemption sum to be released, Form 19B will have to be lodged. Only when the caveat has been lodged, we can then proceed to send the letter of advice to Maju Terus Bank to release the redemption sum to our client's bank, which is Singa Malaya Bank. Next, we will have to register all the documents required, and after that, we have to submit it to the land office and wait for the issuance of presentation statement. When it has been issued, we shall give another letter of advice to Maju Terus Bank to release the loan sum. Finally, when all these steps have been completed, the title will have to be collected at the land office. In conclusion, as mentioned before, this trivia is only to test Ali Hadi's understanding based on the advice that we have given him pertaining to the conveyancing procedures involved. And also to note, the explanation that we have inserted in the trivia is the exact advice that we have given him before we start with the trivia to make sure that our subscribers do understand it correctly. That is all for today's video. If you have any question to ask, please do let us know by leaving the comment down below. And if you find our method of giving advice helpful, then please hit the button like and do come and visit us at our firm for any legal advice required. Thanks for playing with Quiz and Co. See you guys soon in another video.